The Coffs Coast Safety Summit is next week, and I want to introduce you to our speakers ahead of time. Because at most events, you only get to know them if you happen to sit with them, and I really want to change that so that you can arrive ready to connect, learn, and collaborate. Now, today I'd like to introduce you to Spencer McCabe from SIRA New South Wales, who'll be joining Peter Barron from SafeWork New South Wales on our Regulator Panel at the summit. Spencer, thank you so much for joining us.
Not a problem at all, Nicole.
For people who might not know you, can you share a little bit about your background and experience?
Yes, of course. Well, first of all, as you can probably guess from my accent, I'm from the UK.
Yeah.
I moved over to Australia about 13 years ago. Professional career is I started off as a registered nurse in the UK. Did a lot of sort of accident and emergency and surgery work and stuff like that. But then
Yep.
moved into occupational health, which is where I got an appreciation for how health impacts work and work impacts health. And then I moved into rehabilitation in an insurance context in the late 90s, starting to feel old now, working in the UK. And really, that was a time when the concept of rehabilitation in an insurance context was really just burgeoning in the UK. So I did that for a good while, and then about 13 years ago, moved over to New South Wales and have worked with, well, what was WorkCover, but it's now SIRA ever since. Have been undertaken a few roles around the organisation. I've rattled around a little bit, but my current role is as Director of Insurer Supervision. So I look after the relationship with all of the workers' compensation insurers in New South Wales and apply our supervision approaches.
Yeah, fantastic. So what does a typical day look like for you? There's
Ah,
probably no
so
such thing.
well, there is no such thing really. It's a very interesting role. The reason I've been at SIRA so long is because it is so broad and so interesting. So we cover the gamut of workers' compensation insurance.
Mhm.
So that's from looking at the insurers and their underwriting processes, and even before that, their filings and how they construct their pricing mechanisms, through to their claims management and making sure that they're discharging their obligations under the workers' compensation legislation. So we look at them from a compliance perspective, but also from a best practice management perspective as well, constantly encouraging improvement in performance, so that ultimately the participants of the scheme, which is obviously the employers and workers, get the best outcomes that they can possibly get.
Yeah, perfect. Well, I'm very excited that you're going to be on the panel because it sounds like you can add a lot of value and context. I love when people have been in the industry for such a long time because you can bring that knowledge, that wisdom, and that understanding not only within government but across industry too. So, do you want to share a little bit about what you'll be talking about at the summit?
Yeah, sure. So I particularly like being on panels rather than just having a sort of a slot to talk to. I'd much rather have a discussion
Yeah.
than a lecture. So I'm glad that I'm on the panel rather than given a slot in that respect. And really, I'm looking forward to encouraging a discussion about, well, in the first instance, how psychological injury can be avoided as much as possible and ensuring safe workplaces, but also, and probably more into my sphere of expertise, is what can we do once a psychological injury has occurred? How do we navigate the workers' compensation system and get the best outcomes again for those workers and those employers?
Yeah, fantastic. And it's people often get really busy with the day-to-day work, and I know that they would love to have more conversation. So this is a brilliant way to do that, to get the questions answered. But what will happen is you'll be there for the day with Peter as well. So in the breaks, you'll be able to have a chat with people, and we've got some networking time at the end of the day too. So yeah, really looking forward to it and really appreciate it. And just one question before we dive off too. What's the reason that people would contact SIRA and the best way for them to connect with you or SIRA?
Sure. So people could contact us. Probably the main thrust is through the information that we have. So SIRA regulates the workers' compensation system, but it also regulates the home building system
Mm.
and the CTP insurance scheme as well.
Yep.
So we shepherd sort of three schemes. There's a whole host of information on our website aimed at both insurers and employers and workers,
Mm.
and how to navigate the scheme. There's lots of information there for providers as well about how they can participate in the scheme. There's guidance materials for insurers on how to again do the best practice performance, as well as specific information for workers, road users, and people with homes that have
Yep.
had work done. So there's a host of information. We also have a customer experience function. So we hear certain complaints. There are also other mechanisms within the workers' compensation system for workers with a complaint about their insurer. So there's the IRO for that purpose. But we hear
Yep.
other types of complaints and provide information as well. Best way and the easiest way to contact us is either on our website, which is SIRA, SIRA.newsouthwales.gov.au, or we have a contact call line as well, which can be accessed through 137472.
Fantastic. Well, thank you so much for coming. Thank you so much for investing your time in the summit and everything that you do there. And if you're listening to this, do not miss the chance to meet Spencer at the summit, and we can't wait to see you there.
Thanks, Nicole.